Hypercritical, the comedian Matthew Murray podcast starts now. Hello, everybody. It's me, Matthew Murray, talking to you from the past. Last week, I was late publishing an episode, so I came out late. This week, I'm recording ahead of time, so in the future, you're listening to this, but now I'm in the past, so I'm early, but the information is late about being early. I don't know how this works. All I know is this will be going up. My team should be publishing this on the 17th of June. And if you're listening to this right now, I should be on a plane for Las Vegas. Oh my God, do I need a break? I am burnt out like you would not believe. I am crispy. I am extra tasty crispy. I am done. I am ready for some vacation time. And I am thrilled that Conor McGregor has pulled out of UFC 303. I don't like to talk a lot of sports in general, but I really want to go check out a UFC event while I'm down there. But when Conor was the main event on June 29th, ticket prices were like $1,000, literally $1,000 American a ticket. And I was not getting in for that price. But since he's been announced that he is no longer going to be there, ticket prices are dropping fast. So right now they're about the $440 mark. I'm hoping a couple days before, people who were planning to travel to Vegas to see Conor will cancel their plans, the ticket prices will drop out, and I get to spend a day watching men beat each other up. I mean, don't be wrong, you have a lot of options in Vegas to watch men beat each other up. I just want to see it done professionally. So that's probably where I'll be. I will record some podcasts while I'm down there, but this one I wanted to get done and in the can because I'll be traveling while this one is due to be listened to. Well, due to be published. Whether you're listening to it, I don't know. Huge thank you to our delightful neighbors who are watching, basically doing everything for us. They got us to the airport. They let us borrow their driveway for a couple of our vehicles. They're watching our house while we're gone. They're watering the plants. They're massaging the soil. They're doing everything we could ever ask. And it's nice to feel safe. We've got cameras set up all the way around. And I've got, I put out Govee lights, which is like 400 lights on the outside of my house. And originally they're supposed to be for like Halloween or Christmas. They're permanent lights that I can turn on to be red and green at Christmas time. Well, since we had a recent incident out front of our house, I now just leave them full blast all night, every night. So basically my house is lit up like a casino, like it's on the strip at Vegas. So between the lights and the people nearby and the cameras and the security, we should be delightful. I don't have a huge list of things to talk about on this one. Got to start on a somber note. The comedy community of Saskatoon, of which I'm loosely a member, we lost one of our own, Preston Fontana, a great kid. I say kid because he's younger than me. In comedy, you kind of have two ages. You have your age as a human being, and then you have your age in comedy. So you can be a 45-year-old man, but if you've only been doing stand-up for like a year, you're still... I'm hearing a crash of something outside my recording. Well, that was mildly scary. I'm recording in the office, and I just heard a whole bunch of crashing and banging outside of my office. And I was stuck in that conundrum of, I should go see what's happening, but I also decided I'm not going to pause during recordings. So if at any time you hear me gasping for air or being screamed at, I'm being murdered. So if you're listening to this, apparently the podcast got published and everything ended up okay. But that's great. I just spent 2 minutes talking about how secure our place is while we're in Vegas. And then mid-recording, I'm terrified that something's happening here at my office. That's fate. That is the world just saying, just try us. Just go ahead. Tempt us just a little more, bitch. So hopefully everything is fine. But Preston Fontana, I was saying, in the comedy world, you have your age as a person and then your age as a comedian. So you could be a 45-year-old man, but only 1 year into comedy and you're kind of looked at as a youngster. Or you could be 22, but been doing comedy for 6 or 7 years and you're looked at as a veteran. Preston had been doing, I talked last week, ironically, about enthusiasts versus professionals. And he was just skating that line. He was getting paid to do a few gigs. Very funny. Not the healthiest guy, but great spirit, great energy. And he passed away, unfortunately, complications while trying to recover from leukemia. And it just is a reminder that we don't get a ton of time around here, and that when a comedian dies, it's just a little extra tragic, because not only did we lose someone, but we also lost someone who really enjoyed making other people happy. And how many people do you know out there that just want to make the world miserable? That just really soak up every opportunity to pick a fight or get in an argument or take the low road or the high road or whichever road's going to cause the most conflict. So when someone who just wanted to make everyone laugh goes, it sucks. But it makes me very thankful for what I have. And Preston, you'll be missed. You were a good kid. Enjoyed sharing the stage with you. Yeah, dang. But other thing here is, we just came back from my daughter. She's in a private Montessori school, and they wrapped up early. Today was her last day of school. And so earlier this week, I got the chance to take her on a school camping trip. And for an 8-year-old, that's amazing. To spend overnight with all your friends at school, it didn't matter. It could have been a camp. It could have been a forced labor camp. It could have been a small box. This massive sleepover with all your friends is just the highlight. And the horseback riding and the canoeing and the swimming are just gravy. But she was so happy, and she had a great time. I survived. I'm not a great outdoorsy guy. The weather was an issue. My footwear was an issue. I survived, but I got to be there and to see it. I have the freedom of life right now, where I can just go to these things, where I don't have to be stressed about what is that going to do to us financially or personally or professionally if I just go. So it was great. One of the things that's happening here in Saskatchewan is a lot of teacher strikes, and the public school system's having a lot of disruptions. And, my heart goes out to those kids who are experiencing all of those interruptions in their education. And I mean, all I can say to them is, your parents just don't love you enough to put you in private school. If they did, they would. If they cared enough, they would put your needs ahead of theirs, and you'd be in a private school and you wouldn't have to deal with these petty labor disputes. But make the best of it. I'm kidding. I know a lot of people don't have that as an option, but still, that sucks, and just very thankful for what we have, and thankful that you got a chance to go and check out this. It's called Redberry Camp. One of the things to remember about camp is that it's horrible. It's just, it always seems like a good idea when you're packing up the sleeping bag and the bug spray and the sunblock and 3 changes of clothes and all the other things. You think this is going to be great. And within 20 minutes of being out in the boonies, checking for ticks, and you're just like, why am I here? We as mankind invented houses to stop this exact situation. Why? I mean, you have to understand, like, I don't like nature at all. My backyard has got artificial grass. I have it treated for mosquitoes. I have it treated for wasps. I have it treated for mice. I have it treated for everything. Basically, I want it to look and feel like outdoors, but I want everything to be dead in a 10-block radius. I want to simulate nature and remove everything I don't like. And I can, because that's my corner of the world. But when you go out into the forest and you remind yourself that you shouldn't be here, it's hard. But my daughter had a good time, and that's the important thing. When I was walking around with no socks on because my shoes were soaked through, walking through horse dung the size of my head. Yay, this is great. But we did it. We made it. We survived. No ticks. And again, it was just one more obstacle to get over to getting to Las Vegas. And I hate to keep circling back to it, but that's just all that's on my mind right now. It's Vegas is everything good about being an adult. Vegas is like Disneyland for adult. Whatever you want to do, to eat, to see, to buy, to play, it's there. And we don't gamble while we're down there. We like to go to the shows. We like to drive around. We like to hit the pool. But I can just, and they're extroverted. Everyone there wants to talk, and it's great. And even now at the 10 and a half minute mark of this podcast, I'm realizing I don't even have the gas left in me to finish out another 20 minutes of this. This is a real half-assed, horrible podcast. But I wanted to release something to be up there weekly, but I'm not going to subject you to another 20 minutes of me reaching and grabbing and trying to generate content. I mean, I could tell you more stories about the camp, but I really think that's my daughter's story. I don't like comedians that cannibalize their home life and their children for the sake of their act. We don't put our daughter on social media. I try not to mention her by name whenever I can mentally avoid it, because that's her life. And it's, as much as she's enjoying it, it's not for public consumption. It blows my mind that when she gets to be 18, she's going to be able to Google and see, like, if she meets a guy and they start dating, she can see pictures of all of his birthdays from when he was a kid. People who just live their lives visibly like that. I'm in this weird conundrum because as a comedian, I'm trying to live my life very visibly. A lot more of my public info is available than the average person. My Facebook, you can see a friend request or see my posts. I'm here generating podcasts and sharing videos. I'm trying to get eyeballs on my product. And at the same time, give my daughter some level of a bit of obscurity, enough that her childhood is hers, and not for someone else's to go crawling through at a later date. So as much as I want to tell, like, oh, this story and that story, and the teacher said this and these kids did that, those are her stories to tell. It's my story to tell that it was terrible and I'm an amazing father for taking her. But other than that, it's her story. And I don't have any other stories this week. It's only been about 3 days since the last recording. Not that much interesting has happened in 3 days that I particularly want to share with you. Work has been the consistent challenge, and my wife and I are burnt out, and I'm wiped. So let's wrap it at this. Let's go find out what that crash was in the office. This is a time when it would be great to have a great closing line, but I don't have one.